I cannot believe that we are already halfway through 2024, but you know what that means, friends? It is time for the best luxury beauty products of 2024. So far, we have hit that midway point. If you are new here, hi, welcome. My name is Sophia, and I review hundreds of luxury beauty products on this channel every single year. And in this video, I'm going to be going over what is the best of 2024 so far. We have eyeshadow palettes, foundations, bronzers, blushes, lipsticks, you name it. We're all going to be getting into it in this video. So if you want to hang out with me and hear about some amazing luxury beauty products, then keep watching. And I want to kick off this video with the best eyeshadow palettes of 2024 so far, starting off with the eyeshadow palette that I'm wearing on my eyes today, which is none other than the Byredo Mineralscapes palette. Not only do I think this is one of the best eyeshadow palettes of 2024 so far, I think this is one of the best luxury beauty products that I have tried in 2024 so far. It's such a beautiful celebration of cool, earthy tones. I don't have any other palette like this, at least in my collection. I also really like the contrasting golds and sort of like soft nude tones that they put in this palette. This palette sold out very, very quickly. It is back in stock, so I'll link it down below, but it's probably not going to be back in stock for long. These palettes from Byredo, they are very popular. They go very quickly and for good reason. I think a lot of us, we really just love the formula of these palettes. It feels very luxurious. It's very user-friendly. It's very finely milled, but it has a slight creaminess to it that gives a very beautiful soft look on the eyelids, but you also have some other shades in here that you can use to kind of amp it up and, like I said, add a little bit of contrast. I just find this color story very calming, but also very inspiring. It is just a pure delight to use. I can create really soft neutral looks like the one that I'm wearing today, but I also can create some really cool, more colorful looks with the mossy greens and the marine blues that are in here. I have a full review of this palette, by the way, with 3 looks, so I'll link that review down below. And actually, before I say it a million times, I have reviews of all of the products that are going to be in this video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a playlist of all the reviews that I have of these products, and I will link that down below in case you guys want to maybe dive a little bit deeper, see some more demos of the products, etc. So that playlist is going to be linked down below in the description box, along with links to shop all of these products. I highly recommend you take a look at this one if you are a fan of cool tones, because it's not going to be around for longer. I truly enjoy using it. It's a beautiful everyday palette, but with some other brighter or deeper shades if you want to amp it up for maybe like a nighttime or evening look. I know that these next palettes are a rather new release, but I just have to include them in this video. It is the new shades of the YSL Mini Couture Clutch palettes. Hopefully these count. Okay, it is kind of more of like a shade extension of an existing line, but I feel like they belong in this video because I really think that they nailed the 4 color stories that they released. My favorite is this one right here, which is Auvert Orange, because you guys know I love warm tones and I love a good pop of coral, but I also really like the Auvert Noir, which is a beautiful, classy, smoky tone palette. If you want that perfect smoky eye, I highly recommend that one. They also came out with Auvert Brun, which is a beautiful kind of everyday neutral palette, and Auvert Doré. Hopefully I'm pronouncing these okay, guys. Forgive me. Auvert Doré, which is a perfect summertime gold palette. I actually think that these little palettes, these are a very good option if you're kind of interested in that Byredo formula, but you don't want a huge palette, because that's not for everybody. Some of us, we just like a nice small little quad, and this formula is also very finely milled and has a little bit of a creamy touch to it. What I will say, and this is a pro for me, is that each of these palettes has at least one very sparkly topper shade, so you get a little bit of sparkle in there if you want to amp things up. I really like it, but I do like to call it out because not everybody likes something this shimmery. I really love the balance of tones in all of these palettes. I love the balance of formula in all of these palettes. I feel like I can get a full complete look with all 4 of the shades. And then of course, I absolutely love the packaging. Whether you're going for the newer shades that they release or you're going for the existing ones, all of the palettes are good. It really just depends on what color story you like the best. But I actually think, personally, I like the 4 new ones even better, if it were possible, than the original shades. And these actually just launched in the United States, so I'll link down below all the retailers where you can now find these. And by the way, if you happen to be enjoying this video, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. It really helps me out. And if you are new here, consider subscribing to my channel. We seriously would love to have you. I upload new luxury beauty videos just like this one every single week. So if you love luxury beauty, hit that subscribe button to join our fam. And with that, friends, let's get back to the best luxury beauty of 2024 so far. There were definitely a couple of misses in the Chanel Spring Collection this year, but the eyeshadow palettes, at least in my opinion, were not one of them. These are some of my favorite Chanel eyeshadow palettes that I have ever owned. We have Rivage and Coral Treasure. These just feel so fun and spring and summery to me. I love that Rivage is a mixture of neutrals, but then you have that beautiful pop of color. A really nice blue that is very easy to use, not too strong. And then you guys know I love a good iridescent topper shade. Gives me kind of like beachy, by the pool, by the ocean types of vibes. And then Coral Treasure. Okay, this is such a Sophia palette. It reminds me of ice cream. It reminds me of summertime sorbet, a summertime sunset. I love the pink topper shade. And of course, even though this is quite a bright palette, because it's Chanel, it is gonna look a little bit softer and more elegant on the eyes. I don't know if you can still buy these, friends. I'll try and see if I can find any in stock anywhere, but I do know a lot of you guys picked these up when the collection launched. So let this be some inspiration to pull these out this week and maybe wear them, wear them out and enjoy them if you did get them. Another limited edition palette that thankfully is still available, at least at the time of me filming this video, is the beautiful Pastel Glow from Dior. This is such a lovely, soft, springtime, daytime, feminine little treat for me to use. There's just something about this color story that makes me feel happy. It's probably the combination of this icy mint shade and the lovely lavender and the pink. These two colors, this kind of light blue or like a minty blue and the lilac, are very, very trendy colors for this spring and summer, but I feel like you can wear this palette anytime. It's so beautiful, and because it is Dior, it is going to be a little bit softer on the eyes. It is going to have that kind of pretty satiny sheen to it. It's not a very pigmented palette, but I feel like that it's by design. Like, it's not supposed to be very pigmented. It's just supposed to be very light, almost like tulle across the eyes, just like a beautiful iridescent wash of shadow with no glitter. I have really been enjoying this. I actually reach for this all the time on the weekends if I'm going out to brunch, going to church, something like that. A beautiful soft daytime look. I just adore this palette. And then lastly, I know this is gonna annoy some people, but I have to include the Natasha Denona Golden palette. The Golden Midi palette, not to be confused with the gold palette, which is the larger one that she launched years ago. This is kind of like a smaller, more everyday, kind of more boring version of that palette, but that's okay because this has become the perfect everyday palette for me. It has all of the neutral colors that I like to use on the daily. I like warm tones, I like golds, so this is perfect for me, and I get all of those beautifully basic, beautifully neutral colors in that awesome Natasha Denona luxury formula. So this has been a real treat for me. And while she did take away some of the more colorful shadows that were in the gold palette, she did replace them with basic colors that were in some of her newer formulas, like the cream to matte and the wet look shimmers. So we have a couple of interesting formulas in this palette as well. This has been my favorite warm tone palette of 2024 so far. And then the Byredo Mineralscapes has been my favorite cool tone, kind of larger palette of 2024 so far. And now for foundations. I've tried I've tried several luxury foundations and skin tints, etc. this year, but there's really only been one that I actually like. This one was a little bit of a surprise to me. I don't know if you can consider this luxury, but it's definitely prestige that 100% feels like luxury. This is the foundation that I'm wearing on my face today, and it is none other than the Fenty Beauty Soft Lit Foundation. This stuff is good. It is such a beautiful foundation, and like I said, this feels like a luxury product. This feels like something that I would get from like Chanel or Tom Ford, at least in my opinion. This is gonna be a more moisturizing, a more hydrating foundation. So if you're like me and you have drier skin, then I really think you're going to like this. It never dries out on my skin, and it has the most beautiful, glowy, luminous finish. I just adore it. This is not gonna be a skin tint. It's not gonna be a super sheer foundation, but it is very lightweight. I would say that it's medium to full coverage. You can definitely build it up. However, my recommendation is that less is more. When I first started testing this foundation, I really didn't care for it at all. I felt like it got very cakey on my skin. Then I read the reviews, and a lot of people were saying, make sure you don't use too much, which just seems obvious, right? But sometimes it's not obvious when you're trying to test things out. So I decided to use a little bit less. And ever since then, it has been smooth sailing. Every time I wear this foundation, if I'm in like a shop or a grocery store or something like that, that. I get so many compliments on my complexion. I just love it. It's definitely my favorite foundation that I have tried so far this year. Now let's move on to a category that I've had a little more luck in 2024, and that is bronzers. One of my favorite categories, to be honest. I recently uploaded a top 5 bronzers video, so if you guys want more bronzer recommendations, I will link that down below. But 2 of the bronzers that are in this video are also in this video. The first one is the RMS bronzer in the shade Beach Walk Betty. I was waiting for this because we all love the RMS blushes so much, and then they blessed us with the bronzer version of this formula. These are so beautiful, glowy, but not too glowy, not like highlighter glowy, but just enough glow to give you the most beautiful, radiant complexion. And this shade right here, Beach Walk Betty, is very unique, at least in my mind, as somebody that has, oh gosh, maybe like at least 15 luxury bronzers in my drawer right over there. I will tell you, this is a pretty unique shade because it has a pinky undertone. So if you have fair skin, if you have more of like a cool undertone complexion, this is going to be a really great option for you because it's just going to look a little bit more natural on your skin. The other bronzer that I've really enjoyed, which actually I think is better if you're looking for something slightly more warm tone, is the Dolce & Gabbana bronzer. This formula, it's very different from the RMS. The RMS is going to be more of like a glowy formula. This is going to be not as glowy, not as shimmery, and the texture of this, ooh, it's very emollient. It's not a cream bronzer, but it has the most divine, luxurious, buttery texture. And listen, if you don't like this shade or if you can't find a shade that works for you, I will say the blushes in the Dolce & Gabbana line, they are in the same formula. So maybe check out the blushes if one of the bronzers doesn't work for you, because I really feel like everybody needs to try this line of bronzers and blushes. They're so beautiful. I also really love the packaging, very weighty, very luxurious. You know, the RMS, it's more affordable, but it's like a little bit, more basic. Both of these also are refillable. They're just so good. So this one, once again, if you want something glowy, if you want something that's going to be good for a cooler undertone, I would go with this. If you're looking for something ultra luxurious, more of like that buttery texture, and something that gives a little bit more true warmth to the skin, I would go for the Dolce & Gabbana. There have been so many liquid bronzers that have been released over the past couple of weeks. In fact, I made a whole liquid bronzer guide for you all. So if you're interested in more recommendations, I will link that video in the playlist down below. But you all know my go-to for this spring and summer has definitely been the Glossier Cloud Paint bronzers. I already really like the Cloud Paint blushes. I've been using those, gosh, for years, and the formula is still good. It's still one of my favorite cream blush formulas. And I was so excited when they came out with the bronzer version of these. They are so user-friendly. They're called the Cloud Paints because it really just blends across the cheeks in such a airy, cloud-like way. Very easy to use. They're not so pigmented where you have to like be super careful when you apply them. They give a really beautiful kind of hydrated, creamy look to the cheeks without being greasy and slimy. This color right here, which is called Swept, is definitely the one that I wear the most because this one is a little bit cooler in tone. So I really like to use this as kind of like a contour or a bronzer. This is also very travel friendly. I love to bring these when I travel because they basically weigh nothing and they take up no space in my travel makeup bag. So this is also a travel favorite as well. We are going to move into blushes and highlighters in just a second, but before we do that, I want to give a quick shout out to my favorite face palette of 2024 so far, and that is this Makeup Forever HD Face Essentials palette. And I have this one in the light to medium skin tone colorway. They have another one that is for medium to deep skin tones, which is great. This is such a perfect little all-in-one type of palette. I recently included this in my travel makeup favorites video, which I can link down below, because you just got everything in here to do basically your entire face. You have concealer shades, which you can mix to get your perfect shade depending on where you're applying it. You also have these bronzer shades right here. This is actually the cream bronzer that I have on my cheeks today. You also have this cool tone contour shade. Stop! You got all the perfect colors, and then in addition, you have these beautiful cream blushes and these 2 beautiful, very easy to use subtle cream highlighters. It's so fun to use, and these cream products, they're very long lasting. easy to use. They're not greasy, they're not slimy. It very much feels kind of like a makeup artist type of palette, but you don't need to be a makeup artist to use it. It's such a delight. I definitely think I'm gonna be bringing this with me on vacation this summer. And it seems like a lot of people really like this because it keeps selling out at Sephora every time I check. By now, you guys are probably tired of hearing me talk about the Dior Forever Glow Star Filter, but hey, this is the video. We gotta talk about the best of the best, and it definitely belongs in this video. And alongside it, I also wanna give a shout out to the Dior Forever Glow Maximizers. This product is gonna be more of like a glowy primer or like a no makeup type of, you know, glowy blurring complexion product. It also adds a lot of beautiful hydration to the skin. You can also mix this into a skin tint or a foundation if you want to add more radiance to that. I love the texture of this, the level of pigmentation. They really just nailed it, okay? It took them a long time, but once they were released, they absolutely nailed it. I also have this in shade 3 for kind of a more bronzy look for the summertime, so that's an option for you as well. I believe this comes in 10 shades, which I think is really good compared to a lot of other brands who only come out with 1 shade or 2 shades. And then the Forever Glow Maximizers, these are beautiful liquid highlighters, or if you get one of the kind of more colorful or deeper shades like this one, the rosy or the bronze one, which is my personal favorite, you can use these as kind of like a glowy blush. I do have a review comparing these up against the Charlotte Tilbury ones and also the Rare Beauty ones. They are a little bit different, you know, like they have their different strengths, but what I really like about this is that it just looks so natural and so moisturizing. I think if you have drier skin or even more mature skin, if you want something that's going to be very kind of natural, softer, gives like a plump look to the cheeks, this is what I would go for. They're really just lovely products and they definitely belong in this video. The Guerlain Meteorites. Now these are not new, okay? These have been around for a while. They are a cult classic, a very popular product from Guerlain, but they were reformulated and kind of revamped at the beginning of this year for spring. I just love what they did with these. I love this little delicious kind of candy jar packaging. I actually have one, you might be able to see it. It's like on display there in my video background because I just love looking at it. They also redid the scent for these, and personally, I do like the newer scent just a little bit better. Guerlain is a fragrance house, so scent is kind of like a big part of everything that they do, including their makeup, and I love using these for all different types of purposes. You guys saw in my review, I have 3 of the shades. I love to put these all over the face to give a beautiful, glowy, blurring veil all over the skin, and I also really like to use this shade in particular, which is supposed to be for deeper skin. It's called Amber, as the most gorgeous, rosy, neutral blush. It's just divine. I love to use this as a blush. I love to keep this on my vanity as well, once again, because it's just so beautiful to display. They are pricey, but I do feel like the look of these, the smell of them, the whole experience is what luxury beauty is all about, right? I just love them. I also want to give a shout out to the Chanel Winter Glow blushes. Now these came out at the very beginning of the year. Remember, I think it was January if I'm not mistaken. And I love these specifically because, well, the colors are all beautiful, okay? I demoed all 3 for you guys, but I really, really like this formula. It is a little bit more emollient, slightly more buttery, and also glowier, a little bit more illuminating than some of the other Chanel blushes that I've tried in the past. I did not like the blush duo from the spring collection. I was really hoping that that product would have this formula because these were so good. I love the fresh look that these give the cheeks, and this shade in particular, Mauve Glacé. I think this is a great year-round color, but I feel like they really nailed it with this one to create that kind of like cold girl flush, you know, I'm out in the snow skiing type of look. These are really beautiful. They're actually coming out with some more like blush and highlighter duos for the summertime, and I'm really hoping that the formula is just as good as these. So when I first saw the promo photos for these, I kind of poo-pooed them, okay? I'm not gonna lie, I kind of poo-pooed them. I was like, we don't need any more blushes, yet another blush release. The packaging is very cutesy to kind of lure you in and make you think that this is something different than what you already have. But that being said, okay, I do really like the new Kosas Blushes Life Baked Blushes. And one of the reasons why I really like these is because they are a more affordable version to the Hourglass one. ones. They're absolutely beautiful. I love the shades that they pick. There's actually a lot more neutral shades, more of a variety just in general than what you can get from Hourglass. Don't get me wrong. Still love the Hourglass blushes, still gonna use them, still gonna buy them, let's be real. But if you're looking for something very similar that's a little bit more affordable, or if you just can't find the right shade in the Hourglass ones, and maybe you want this cute, scrumptious lilac packaging, then these are really great. The one that I use the most is this one, which is called Dreamland. This is gonna be the most neutral one. So of course, it's the one that I use the most. But I also have Blissed and Thrill, which I also really like. They're so gorgeous. Thrill is going to be a little bit more of like a bright orangey red, and then Blissed is like a peachy pink. So that's also a good one if you want something really like subtle for every day. And to finish up the cheek category, we have the Danessa Myricks Low Lighters. What is a low lighter, you might ask? It's a cream highlighter. It's a cream highlighter, but it's called a low lighter. I really like these because I think that they're one of the most user-friendly cream highlighters that I have ever tried. I feel like a lot of cream highlighters, or liquid highlighters for that matter, sometimes they require like an extra couple of minutes to apply. You might have to make sure that they don't disturb your foundation. Some of them are a little bit too greasy or oily, and I don't get that from this product. I love the two shades that I picked up. I have the peachy one here, which is called Low Key. That's the one that I have on my cheeks today. And then I also have Unbothered, which is the pinker toned one. So beautiful. It's really easy to just top over a blush with a brush. I love them. I also think that if you're not wearing a blush, these are pigmented enough, depending on your skin tone and what shade you get, that you can wear it as a glowy blush. I think Unbothered, the pink one in particular, is my favorite one to use for that. They dry down to more of like a matte and powdery finish as well. So they're great for the summertime, great if you want something that's going to be very long lasting. And I don't think that they're too much. I feel like it is the perfect little bit of natural glow. They have a slight shift to them, no chunky glitter. I just love them. I really hope that she comes out with new shades. I would love to see like a lilac one. I would love to see a bronze one that's a little bit lighter than what she has out right now, because that one's a little bit too dark for me. So Danessa Myricks, I want to see more shades because these are really great. My favorite eyeliner of the year is the one that I'm wearing on my eyes today. It's actually one of my favorites that I have in my entire eyeliner collection. It is this new one from Victoria Beckham Beauty. This one is called Cinnamon, and I love all of the satin eye casuals from Victoria Beckham Beauty. I have almost every shade. I might be missing one, but I have almost every shade of these eyeliners, and this one is definitely one of my favorites. If you like the bronze shade, but you were kind of hoping for something that was a little bit less cool tone, but still had a very soft, wearable, shimmery type of finish, I would definitely check this one out. It is just the perfect brown. I know it sounds so boring, but I love these eyeliners. They give a really beautiful, soft, kind of smudgy look to the eye. They're very easy to apply, like they just glide across the eye. They don't tug or anything like that. This is her bestseller, so I guess everybody else likes these as well. And the shade Cinnamon, if you don't have it in your collection, next time you go to pick something up from Victoria Beckham Beauty, definitely check it out. Speaking of Victoria Beckham Beauty, I also want to include in this video her new eyeshadow sticks that she came out with for spring. Very beautiful colors. We have the Cornflower Blue, we have the Ballet, and then we have my favorite shade, which is called Shroom. Oh my goodness, if you love cool tones, you're going to love this shade. It's a neutral, but what I like about this is that it has such a lovely, slightly lilac tone to it. It's very soft. It doesn't have any glittery shimmer or anything in it. Glides across the eye, and then you guys know these stay put all day. This actually is a great combination. You could put Shroom all over the lid, and then you could go in with the cinnamon liner and a little mascara. Ooh, such a good class look. I apologize in advance to anybody who's been watching a lot of my videos lately, but I do have to include in this video, I've talked about it so much recently, the Surratt Noir Lash Tint. This is my mascara fave for this year. I've tried a couple out, some new ones, and they're very good, don't get me wrong, but this one definitely stands out to me. This is unique because it's not a full-blown mascara, it's a lash tint. It doesn't have a brush at the end of the wand. It's just a metal rod with little grooves grooves in it that happens to pick up the perfect amount of pigment. And when you just brush it through your lashes, you get the most perfect, natural, clump-free application. This is what I have on my lashes today. I have 2 coats on both eyes. And as you can see, it's not nothing, okay? It's not like a kiss of pigment on your lashes, but it is a very nice, soft, fluttery type of coverage for the summertime. And this is so long lasting. If you live in a hot climate, a humid climate, if you are wearing makeup by the pool, by the beach, or you're just somewhere where you really need your mascara to last, this is gonna be great because it does not budge. It's very water resistant. It comes off easily with makeup remover, but I just love the longevity of this. I typically wear my makeup all day, and very often I go outside in the heat in the summer, so I like something that just isn't going to budge. And the last couple of products that I wanna share with you today are the best lip products of 2024, and I wanna kick things off with a product, or I guess collection of products that are limited edition. They are still available, but you're not gonna be able to get them for that much longer, so listen up, guys. It is the spring summer collection of Hermes lipsticks. I don't always love every collection that they put out, but this collection in particular, they just really nailed the shades. If you are looking for a beautiful saturated pop of color for the summertime, look no further. If you've never tried the matte lipsticks from Hermes, these are in the matte formula, by the way, which is my favorite formula from them. It is very comfortable, very pigmented, not drying. It is a luxury formula. These are pretty expensive, I'm not gonna lie, but they're special, okay? They come in absolutely gorgeous packaging. You got that satisfying little magnetic click. The summertime collection has this kind of preppy, almost kind of like polo shirt. That's what it reminds me of, like a polo shirt types of vibes, maybe like a preppy sailing kind of vibe. Each one has a different print to kind of match the color that's inside of it. And the shades, like I said, oh my gosh, look at that red. It's kind of like a bright orangey poppy red. This is Rouge Cinétique. This is my favorite one. It was very hard to decide which one was my favorite because I also really like Rose Pop, but I think this one is my favorite. They are just so, so good. These actually make a really, really great gift as well because they come with their own little dust bag and a little orange Hermes box. It's a really good gift, trust me. And actually my Hermes sales associate told me the other day that she has people coming in looking for these all the time in store and they're sold out. They must be very popular, but they are still available online from some retailers, so I will link them down below. I do, however, have some lipstick favorites that are not limited editions, starting off with the Merit Signature Lip Matte Lipsticks. That's right, they came out with a matte version of their beautiful lipsticks. We used to have the satin version, and now we have the matte version. And these are so creamy and moisturizing, but in a very airy, lightweight way. I mentioned to you guys several times, I think that these are a more affordable dupe to the Prada soft matte lipsticks. Don't get me wrong, I still love the Prada ones, but they are very expensive. I mean, you're paying for the name, you're paying for that very luxe packaging. If you want a very similar formula in some gorgeous, very sophisticated shades, look no further because these ones from Merit are seriously so good. Some of my favorites in my collection, the color that I use the most is definitely this one. It's called Antibes, and it is a gorgeous, slightly warm tone nude, and it goes good with a lot of my summertime looks. And then on the satin side of the spectrum, I love the Makeup by Mario Super Satin Lipsticks. These are such a special formula. I know I'm hyping up all the products in this video, but this is the best of the best, okay? That's the point of this video. I feel like I sound like a broken record, but literally these are so good. They're so good because they're very moisturizing and you get that kind of slight satin sheen from these lipsticks, but I love that they are pigmented, okay? Because sometimes with satin lipsticks, they're just a little bit too sheer. These give you the moisturization, they give you the comfort, but they're pigmented and they're also very long wearing. The ingredients in this, they make it so that the formula just really clings to the lips, so it's not gone in 2 seconds, which once again, that happens a lot to me. I don't know about you, but it happens a lot to me when it comes to satin lipsticks. I just adore these. I already purchased these in a couple of different colors, but my favorite one that I like, and the one that you guys told me you like the best on me, is this one right here, which is called Soho, and it is a gorgeous light to medium corally nude. It's kind of in between a nude and a coral. So great for every day, but I love love this especially as a spring and summer shade. I have to be honest, I do not know if these lipsticks came out this year, but this brand is brand new to me, so I'm gonna make this count, okay? The Queen Musia lipsticks, I love these. I keep talking about these in a couple of my videos, but they truly are just a delightful formula, and I really love the shades as well. The packaging is like a little weird and kooky, but I like it. I don't know. I like this pistachio green or mint green, whatever you would call this. It's happy, it's fun, it's kind of like kitschy and interesting. Like, you won't lose this in your handbag, trust me. And like I said, the shades are very, very lovely. Their most popular shade is this one right here, which is called Madame Bovary. It is a beautiful light cool tone pink, but my favorite shade is this one right here. This is the first one that I got, which is called Montreux. And how would I describe this? It's kind of like a bright romantic rose. There's a little bit of coral in there maybe, but at least when it goes on my lips, it's more of a beautiful kind of flushed, like blushing type of rose. It's so romantic, it's so beautiful. I love this as not only a lip color, but I also will take this and apply it to my cheeks because it's such a beautiful blush color as well, with kind of like a soft, bright, very bare eye. So good. And then lastly, what I have on my lips today, which is the Idem Les Chouchous lip treatment, and this is in the shade Fig Sauce. Yes, I still haven't gotten the other shade yet. I did go to Sephora to see if they were there, but they didn't have them in stock yet. So for now, friends, okay, we're gonna put a little bit more right now. I am rocking the Fig Sauce. This is like my everyday throw it on the lips and join the Zoom meeting type of lip product, because a lot of times I just don't have the time or patience, or I just forget to maybe use my lipsticks, and this is the kind of thing that I can just have on my desk or have it in my purse. I put it on and it just instantly kind of revives my lips. It is more of like a lip mask, like a lip treatment. It's very moisturizing, it's very occlusive, it's a little bit thicker than the Summer Fridays, what are they called? The Butter Bombs. It's a little thicker than that. I like these better. I also really like the metal applicator because it just feels, it's like a nice experience. It's like cooling and smooth, kind of just want to, like, you know, sit here and let it glide across my lips. I love the fruity scent. They don't taste gross. And I also love this color, which is called Fig Sauce. Very neutral, goes with literally any look. It's kind of like my lips, but better, but I really want to get the shade Boba Bounce. So as soon as they come back in stock at Sephora, I'll probably do that, or they do have them in stock on the Edem website. But this has been my favorite kind of lip treatment, lip balm product of 2024 so far. And that is it. Those are all of the best luxury beauty products of 2024 so far, at least in my opinion. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. Okay, I have a whole spreadsheet with all the products that I try and a rating. I'm very organized, guys, but comment down below and let me know if you can think of any favorites that you have really enjoyed in 2024 so far. I would love to hear all of your thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. And with that, friends, I hope that you see some beauty in your day, and I will see you in my next one. Goodbye.